In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how to work German short rows. Specifically, I'm going to show how to work the short rows in my pattern V-back T. This is the fingering version. I'll show how to work the short rows as well as how to join in colors in the short rows. Before starting the short rows, I need to measure the center front length of my garment. As you can see here, it measures approximately 11.25 inches, which is the length I need for my size. I'm going to start with the very first row of the short rows, which is short row 1 of section 1 in my V-back T pattern. I'm knitting to 4 stitches before the first V marker. So you see the stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's time to turn the work. I'm now making a double stitch on the wrong side. This is accomplished by slipping the first stitch on the left needle to the right needle purlwise and gently pulling the yarn up as shown here to create what looks like 2 stitches. Bring the working yarn around the needle and to the front so that you can begin to purl. I've continued along with short row 2, purling to the BOR, slipping the marker, purling to the right side marker, slipping that marker, and now I'm purling to 4 stitches before the other V marker. One, two, three, 4, time to turn. We're now ready to make a double stitch on the right side. Bring the working yarn to the front and slip the first stitch on the left needle to the right needle purlwise. Gently pull the stitch up until you see the double stitch. Maintaining that tension, begin to knit. Continuing in short row 3, I am knitting to 2 stitches before my right side marker. Work the decrease slip slip knit right next to the marker. Slip the marker. Still continuing with short row 3, knit to the BOR, slip the BOR, and work the decrease knit 2 together. I'm now approaching the first V marker again. Here's the double stitch. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to knit to those 3 stitches before that last double stitch. Turn, and now I'm ready to work another double stitch on the wrong side. I'm now at a point in the short rows where it's time to join in a new yarn color for a color transition. As you can see, I've already created a double stitch with the last color. Now I'm immediately joining in the next color and purling. This method works fine, but since the stitches are not secured, you will have larger holes to sew closed when you weave in your ends. Another way to do it, and my preferred method, is to take the working yarn of your new color and lay it over the yarn tail from the double stitch you just created. Then, purl with the 2 yarns, or knit, for 2 stitches. This secures the double stitch. I've purled to 3 stitches before the double stitch, so now it's time to turn again. This time, I need to make my double stitch and then break the yarn so that I can join in a new color for the second row of the color transition. I'm working the double stitch on the right side, and now I'm ready to break my yarn. Again, overlap your yarn tail with the working yarn from your new color and just work a couple of stitches. In this case, I'm knitting 2 stitches. My only caveat for this method is that when you come to resolve the double stitches later, you need to make sure you don't confuse the 2 strands of yarn for a double stitch. Again, I've purled to 3 stitches before the double stitch. It's time to turn. It's also time for me to join in a new color. Here I'm wrapping the yarns to really help secure that double stitch. I've now made it to section 2, so it's time to start resolving some of these double stitches. Here's a double stitch. Simply put your needle through both loops of that stitch, treating it as one stitch, and knit the double stitch. It is resolved. Continuing with short row 13 of section 2, I've knit to my BOR and slipped the marker, and now I'm knitting to the next double stitch. This stitch count will vary for different sizes. There's my double stitch, and now it's resolved. Knit DS, and then knit 1 and turn. Time to make another double stitch. I've made it to short row 14, so it's time to start resolving some of the double stitches on the purl side. Here's my first double stitch, which I'm resolving by purling through both loops of the double stitch, treating it as one stitch. And purling to the right side marker. Oopsies. Let me get that. And then purl to the next double stitch. And PDS, purl the double stitch. It is resolved. Purl 1, turn and make another double stitch. I'm back to working in the round and resolving the last double stitches. Please note that the precise location of the double stitches relative to the V markers will look differently than shown here. The last double stitch after the V marker needs to be worked differently. Knit through the first shorter leg of the double stitch, then knit 2 together the longer leg with the following stitch on your needle.